In football, we celebrate the goals, trophies, electric atmosphere of match day, the roars, the triumphs and the heroes lifted high in victory. But sometimes, the greatest story ever told doesn't happen under stadium floodlights. Sometimes, the most powerful battles happen far away from the pitch. In hospital rooms. In moments of silence. And in the limits of human endurance. This is the unforgettable journey of a man who wore two powerful jerseys. The gold and black of Wolverhampton Wanderers. And the green and white of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Only to be forced into the fight of his life. Carl Ikeme. A towering presence in goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers and the Super Eagles of Nigeria career trajectory was defined by resilience, from years spent grinding through the lower leagues, to making his mark on the international stage under controversial circumstances. When he finally found his rhythm, he was struck down by the cruelest opponent, acute leukemia. This is the story of Carl Ikeme. Carl Ikeme began his journey with Wolverhampton Wanderers, a club he joined at age 14, but his senior career was initially defined by an unending loan spells across the breadth of English football. He was constantly on the road. Made a stopover at Accrington Stanley, Stockport County, Sheffield United, QPR, Leicester City, Doncaster, and Middlesbrough. These were clubs where he wasn't the future but just a young prodigy honing his skills. He often endured injury setbacks during those times, like the serious knee injury early in his career and a broken hand in 2014. These weren't glittering spells, they were the hard, brutal grind of a keeper fighting for recognition. For years, he played second or third fiddle, often watching from the bench as others took the limelight. But the resilience he built during this time, the constant need to be ready, to step up, to perform under pressure, would become the foundational strength he needed for the battles ahead. It wasn't until 2014, after helping Wolves win the League One title, that he finally secured the undisputed number 1 jersey at Molineux. By 2015, aged 29, he was playing the most consistent football of his life, ready for his greatest stage yet, the international arena. Carl Ikeme's arrival in the Super Eagles squad was not a smooth transition, but a reaction to a shocking institutional crisis. For over a decade, the Super Eagles goal was safeguarded by Vincent Enyeama, an absolute legend with over 100 caps. Enyeama was the standard. The storm began in late 2015 with the arrival of coach Sunday Oliseh. Oliseh, seeking to instill his own brand of discipline, became embroiled in a dramatic, public confrontation with Enyeama. The central conflict revolved around the captaincy. Oliseh stripped Enyeama of the band and gave it to Ahmed Musa. Enyeama, who was still mourning the loss of his mother, felt disrespected and humiliated by the way the change was handled, alleging insults and being thrown out of the camp. These span of events caused Enyeama, Nigeria's most influential player, to abruptly retire from the national team. This decision left both fans and pundits shocked, polarized, and desperate. This was how Ikeme came into the picture on a rescue mission. Having been called up just weeks earlier, he made his debut in a crucial AFCON qualifier against Tanzania in Dar es Salaam on September 5, 2015. That game was tough, ending 0-0. But Ikeme was spectacular. His performance was widely hailed as man of the match, stopping the Taifa Stars from securing a victory. Oliseh himself admitted Ikeme saved them from serious embarrassment. For the Nigerian faithful, the debate over Enyeama's exit lingered, but in Ikeme's, they found a capable, inspiring replacement. He earned 10 caps, becoming the reliable last line of defense as Nigeria marched towards 2018 World Cup qualification. His future, both at Wolves and with the Super Eagles, had never looked brighter. The summer of 2017 should have been a preparation for the Premier League and the World Cup. Instead, it delivered the life-changing diagnosis. After returning abnormal blood tests during a routine medical, Carl underwent further checks. He was driving home from a furniture store when the doctor called. The news he got was stark: he has been diagnosed with acute leukemia. In a rush of emotions, he stayed in his car and cried for hours. In an instant, his career, his future, and his very life were put on hold. Doctors gave him a survival prognosis of 30 to 40%. It was terrifying news, especially for a fit, 31-year-old father of two. This news left the football world shocked. The emotional fear that struck his family was immense. His wife, Saba, became his rock, facing the constant dread of uncertainty. Carl later recalled how his immediate focus shifted away from football and entirely onto his two young daughters. The central, agonizing question was, how would my children cope if I wasn't there? This question became his single, burning motivation to fight. The sacrifice began immediately. Just days after his diagnosis, Ikeme began intense chemotherapy at the specialist Christie Hospital in Manchester. This meant he had to miss the birth of his second daughter, Maya, who arrived 10 days after his treatment started. He saw her for the first time via a video call, a moment of profound joy mixed with deep and physical absence. The treatment cycles were grueling. Chemotherapy annihilated his immune system, leaving him vulnerable to every infection. He lost nearly 3 stone in weight. There were times when simple tasks, like cooking a meal, required immense effort. At one point, he developed a high fever and was rushed to intensive unit. He was later informed he had contracted sepsis, a condition where his body was fighting for its life against infection. It was a terrifying near-death experience, one he only fully understood the gravity of much later. Yet, through the pain and the weakness, he maintained a defiant positivity, communicating his fight to the world through social media posts that radiated gratitude and resilience. He accepted his journey, adopting the mindset, "Why not me? This is my journey. This is supposed to happen." For 12 months, Carl fought with the tenacity of a true warrior. And in June 2018, the world celebrated with him. Carl Ikeme was declared to be in complete remission. He had faced death and won. Sadly, the physical toll of the intense treatment meant his footballing career was over. In July 2018, he announced his retirement, saying goodbye to the only club he had ever known. The emotional farewell was immense, with Wolves fans and the Nigerian Federation offering incredible support. Though he wouldn't stand in the goal for Nigeria at the 2018 World Cup, his Super Eagles teammates dedicated their campaign to him, wearing special shirts bearing his name and squad number. It was a powerful recognition of the battle he had won. Life after football can be difficult for any athlete, but for Carl, it was about recovery and rebuilding a whole new identity. He documented his journey in his powerful and candid autobiography, Why Not Me?, sharing the intimate, harrowing, and triumphant details of his fight. Physically, he found a new way to channel his competitive spirit, mixed martial arts, specializing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He credits BJJ with giving him the structure and purpose to train again after losing so much muscle mass and fitness during treatment. This new physical challenge proved vital for his mental health and continuing recovery. Professionally, he is an active entrepreneur in property renovation, and he dedicates a huge part of his time to giving back. He's the first ambassador for the Good Shepherd charity in Wolverhampton, a crucial organization providing daily support, food, and life skills to the homeless and vulnerable in the city. He has taken his life experience, the fight for survival, and turned it into an engine for advocacy and community impact. Ikeme's story is a reminder that some victories are bigger than any trophy. He is a legend not just for his saves, but for his sheer, unconquerable human spirit. Was this inspirational? Share your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.